Hello, welcome back after half term. For our literacy lesson today, we're going to be starting to look at a Mexican text called Adelita. Now, this is a picture of Adelita on the front cover, and I'm wondering, what words do you think that you would use to describe Adelita in this picture? What I'd like to do is just grab a piece of paper, pause the video, and see if you can think of as many adjectives as you possibly can to describe what Adelita looks like. So some of the words I thought of maybe could be, obviously you could describe the color of something. So you could say she's wearing a white dress, she's wearing a red shawl or scarf. You could describe about the way that she looks. She looks quite calm. She looks quite peaceful. You could say that she looks quite pretty. You could say she looks beautiful. There's lots of words you could use to describe her. Now we're going to find out a little bit more about what Adelita is like as we read the text over the next few days. Today, we are going to be seeing if we can read and understand a fiction text. So I'm going to read a part of the text to you. I'm also going to give you that part of the text so you can look at it yourself. And to be successful today, we're going to see if we can use phonics to sound out unfamiliar words. We're going to see if we can use other reading strategies to decode words. We're going to see if we can search for keywords to help me find an answer to a question. And we're going to see if we can use evidence from a text to back up our answers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to the first few pages of Adelita. I'm not going to read the whole story, but I'm going to read part of it to you. And then after I've read part of it to you, we are going to see if we can answer some questions together. Adelita.
Hace mucho tiempo, a long time ago, in a village in Mexico, there lived a merchant named Francisco and his beautiful young wife Adela. One day, Adela said, "Francisco, estamos esperando un bebé. We are going to have a baby." "Adela," Francisco said, "me hace muy feliz saberlo. I am so happy." Then he said, "We must send for Esperanza. She will come and take care of you until the baby is born, and then she will help us with the baby." Esperanza had been with the Mercado family since she was a young girl, and she had looked after Francisco when he was a baby. Esperanza came right away. She took good care of Adela, but after the birth of the baby, Adela was ill. She grew weaker, and shortly after, she held her little girl for the first and last time. Quietly, she died. Francisco was heartbroken. He named his daughter Adelita, little Adela, after her mother. Francisco was sad for his Adela, and he missed her greatly, but gradually Adelita filled his heart with love. Time passed, and Adelita grew into a beautiful young woman. La casa Mercado se llenó de alegría. The Mercado house was full of happiness. One evening, Francisco called Adelita and Esperanza to his study. "My dear Adelita, my good Esperanza, les tengo noticias. I have some news for you. I have met a charming woman and I have decided to marry again. Her name is Señora Michaela de la Fortuna. She is a widow and has 2 daughters close to your age, Adelita. I know you will like Donna Michaela and her daughters, Valentina and Dolce." Adelita was happy for her father. Esperanza wasn't so sure, especially after she met Donna Michaela and her daughters. "Que frías son, they're cold ones," Esperanza said.
I hope you enjoyed the first part of that story. I wonder what's going to happen next. I wonder if you could predict what might happen next in the text. Now we're going to look at this part of the text here, and we're going to answer a couple of questions about this bit. So, the first question I want you to work out the answer to is this. Is Esperanza a good worker? And how do you know? Why don't you pause the video and see if you can find the answer, or find evidence to suggest whether she is or is not a good worker? Now, I would say that she is a good worker. And how do I know? Well, it says Esperanza came right away. Now, if she came right away, that shows that she's dedicated and wants to work really hard. But it also says she took good care of Adela. So that means that she was caring and she was good at looking after people. So I would say, yes, she was a good worker. The second question says, what does Francisco was heartbroken mean? Now, for this question, you don't actually need to look in the text to find the answer. You could read, find out where this statement is. It's actually here. Francisco was heartbroken, and work out what that means. But you need to have an understanding of what that word heartbroken means. Have you ever heard of somebody having a broken heart? If they've got a broken heart, it means that they are really, really sad. That it means that they're maybe something that they love has gone away. So Francisco was heartbroken means that he was devastated. He was very sad indeed. Let's have a look at another section of the text. This time, I'm going to ask you this question. What news did Francisco tell Adelita and Esperanza? So what was the news that he told them? Now, if you look in the text, it says, I have some news for you. I have met a charming woman and I have decided to marry again. So the news that he told Adelita and Esperanza was that he was going to get remarried. He was going to marry a charming woman he had met. The final question says, what are Don and Michaela's two children called? Now, if you're looking for the names of two children, then you know that you're going to be looking for words with capital letters. And her children, are they boys or are they girls? Can you remember from the text? If you look at the very last sentence, it says, I know you will like Donna Michaela and her daughters, Valentina and Dolce. So the name of Donna Michaela's two children are Valentina and Dolce. Okay, now for the task today, you're going to see if you can use the Adelita text of what we've just read to see if you can answer some questions. Remember to read the question first so you know exactly what you're looking for. And then if you don't know the answer, then you can use the text to help you work out the answer. Remember, you don't need to answer in full sentences, but your answers do need to make sense. So sometimes one word is not enough to answer a question. Sometimes it is, but you need to make sure that whatever you do write as your answer makes sense for the question. And most importantly, do not guess. Use the text to help you. That's why it's there. If you've got any problems at all, do feel free to send a message on DB Primary and one of us can try and help you to solve the problem.